Hey everybody, how's it going? Grace, peace, and blessings to the fam. Hope everybody's doing all right. We're here, so let's give all praise, honor, and glory to our Father, Abba Yahawah, in the name of our beloved King Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. All right, I thank you guys for joining me today. So I just did a video recently, right, about how the God-fearing man is not a simp, and so recently it's just been on my spirit, man, to start reacting, I guess, given the godly perspective on some of these topics and certain some of these conversations that are being had out here in the social media spaces. All right. So, I've been curating, some videos and channels, subbing to certain channels and everything else, just so I can remember to do these things because I don't always take notes on the things that I want to do. Although most of the time I do, but sometimes I don't. I'll just sub to a channel so that, if I happen to forget about it, the videos or the channel will pop up, in my recommendations and it'll remind me, oh yeah, that's right. I was supposed to talk about this. Right. And so this is one of those topics that I wanted to touch on. All right. The brother's channel is called Pookie Will. All right. And so, he discusses, he does like reaction videos and so forth. And so I want to react to not his reaction, but to the videos that he's reacting to because the conversation, right, needs to have a godly man to give the godly perspective on it. He's a worldly brother, so he can give the world's perspective. And so I'm going to give the other side of the coin. Okay, because there are a lot of sisters out there who feel like these sisters, these women in the videos and so forth, and they don't quite understand, godliness, or they don't understand the Most High and in His operation. So they don't know, and so they're going to be getting answers out here that are everything but the answers that the Most High want to give them sometimes, and then sometimes they will get the answers that the Most High wants them to receive, but they'll get it from individuals who, is going to be harder to receive that message from those individuals. So that's why I'm here because the brother, he's not going to really say anything that's not, on point. It's just that, again, I know the nature of our sisters and that if they don't, and I know the nature of people that even though one person can be given a message and it's the right message, they might be the wrong messenger for this individual and um, they'll blank out or they'll disregard that individual just because of who they are and they'll completely miss the message or the message can be delivered in a certain way that'll make them not really be able to stomach it, all right, to bear it. And so again, that's why we're here. All right, so this conversation, right, you see the title, it says it's like they want to be the prize, right? Women are fed up over not being pursued and chased. They can't understand what's going on. Something is happening right now with men, not just Israelite men, but men in general. And women can't figure it out. They think there's some sort of mass conspiracy against women because all of these men just hate women. That's what it is. They hate women. So that's the problem. They don't do any further investigation, no introspection, no nothing. That's as far as it goes is what's wrong with the men? These men hate women. They're gay. They're sassy. They want to be a prize. They want to be chased, right? And the truth never ever occurs to them. So since it never occurs to them, you need someone to teach you things that don't just occur to you. All right. So the spirit of the prize, right? And why, quote unquote, God fearing men aren't chasing women anymore. And again, it's not just God fearing men, it's men in general. There is a spirit out here that's making men different. Men are changing. There is an awakening happening. There is a switch that's been hit. Who you think is the controller of that switch? Whose finger is on the button? Who's the author and finisher of everything? Whose will is being done? Whose movie is this? So you have to take everything back to the Father. Everything. You have to reverse engineer it and get back to Him. All right. Backtrack. All right. Retrace the steps to see what the genesis is of all of these things. And it's the Most High. All right. So modern women, they're starting to notice the change, right? The men are no longer approaching. They're no longer chasing. They're no longer simping. They're no longer begging. They're no longer thirsty, right? Not in the way they used to be, right? You still got those men who are out there who are a lot like that, but you got a great movement and a great awakening among men happening right now, and women, because they're slow to wake up and they're slow to register and process. They don't really understand it. They're trying to figure it out, but they're trying to process it through their womanly thoughts, through their womanly mind, not saying, let me think like a man for a second. Let me look at it from the man's perspective. They can't do it. It's impossible for them. That's why these kind of people don't make good leaders. They're not able to see other people's perspective. And a great leader must be able to see other people's perspectives, right? Must be able to sympathize and empathize, right? And so, they'll say things like, where are the good men? Why don't men pursue women anymore? What's wrong with the men? Real men this and real man that, and they're scared and they're intimidated, and they'll start throwing around these coping buzzwords and phrases that don't help them. So they continue to get messed up results because they're lying to themselves. They're not willing to listen to anybody who tells them the truth, and they're cloaking themselves in what is really disrespect to men, and they're not able to see that disrespecting men isn't a great way to win them over. Disrespecting men is not a great way to get men to to want you, to desire you, to pursue you. Again, any adult or any person with rational thinking will say, if I want a person to like me, maybe I shouldn't disrespect them, right? The honey versus vinegar analogy, right? So this needs to be taught, obviously. All right. So the truth is that, you know, when they say men act like they're the prize now, again, where does that come from? It comes from the highest. Why is that? Because according to the Most High, men are the prize. If you don't know that and you're in this truth, you haven't been reading the scriptures, or you haven't been understanding what you've been reading. But to say that men are a prize is not to say that women are trash. See, this is what women hear. Women hear when men say, "I am a prize," right? They hear you say, "Well, you saying I'm trash? You're saying I'm nothing?" Because that's the way women interpret. They don't think a lot of women. I'm gonna say most women. I ain't gonna say all. All right, because it should go without saying that I'm not saying all, but I know some women need me to say it in order for them to know it. All right, and so this isn't some manosphere trend or some red pill trend or some podcast effect. All of these men are just being bamboozled by the podcast. It's all these podcasts. It's Kevin Samuels making these men think like this. No, it's the Most High. All right. It's the Most High Yahawah putting a new spirit in the earth. He's putting a new spirit in his sons, a new spirit in men in general, right? A spirit of value, a spirit of righteousness, a spirit of royalty, a spirit of manliness, according to Yahawah. Not manliness according to what women want, according to women's desires, right? According to women's definition, right? Because they think they're the gatekeepers of manhood and manliness and masculinity. No, according to the Most High. All right, so let's just watch a little bit of this because I want you to see it, because there's a lot of women out there who they don't really see these conversations. So they don't really see that women are out here moving like this and talking like this. And so when men talk about it, they think the men are just making it up. They think it's coming from a place of men just hating women, and so then these women gaslight men to try to make men believe that the things that men are seeing, hearing, being told, being shown, and the things that men know for a fact are all just figments of their imaginations. All right, so let's watch and learn, because again, in order to be a true child of the Most High, you got to understand spiritual things. You got to understand your Father. You got to understand what He's doing. You got to understand that everything that you see happen in the earth is Him. It'll make you approach life differently when you recognize and you remember it's Him. Whatever's happening, that's the Most High's doing. It's His doing. All right. So that should make navigating life easier for you when you consider that. Let's get it.
What's going on? Like,
Men are just not men anymore. Like, they are looking for a woman to help with everything, and they want to be chased.
the king.
She said these men want women that want help with everything. They just want to be chased. You see, because this is the spirit of the women who don't want to help with anything. The women who think men are supposed to do everything and it's supposed to accept nothing in return. They have this new doctrine out here by women that says women aren't supposed to provide any value to a man's life. Men are supposed to provide all the value. Men exist for our benefit, you know what I mean? And to service us, and we're not supposed to provide them anything in return except our presence. That's supposed to be good enough. That's the spirit, right? That many of these women have, and that's the spirit that the Most High hates. That's the spirit that he's combating with this new spirit he has put in the earth. The Most High changing men. He got men on a different type of time now to combat this other spirit that we're watching, to root it up and to bury it. The Most High wants to bring it to an end. All right, so he's doing a new thing.
Is tormenting, but he ain't following up with the action. Like,
So they're seeing men out here, looking at them, appearing to be interested, but the men ain't following up because the women are uh they're not really much of a catch anymore outside of physically. Yeah, they're desirable to look at, but men know women now, and the current mind state of the modern woman is unattractive. It's not feminine, it's masculine. And masculine men, manly men, straight men are not attracted to other men's energy. So when a woman cloaks herself in a man's energy, she makes herself repulsive to a man who is a straight heterosexual man. So then they attract men who aren't manly men, who aren't fully heterosexual, might be bi, down low, whatever it is. And then they complain about those men, but they also complain about the manly men. They don't like the manly men being manly men, but they also don't like, the soft, effeminate men either. And so they walk around through life and hating all men because they won't change themselves in order to get better results. Men are responding to who women have become, to what women are, to how women speak. All right. Men are adapting. All right. The simp chip is being destroyed in men. Men are deactivating the simp chip. All right. Rooting it out of themselves and destroying it. And women, they're watching it and they can't understand it because it just baffles them, right? Because it's supposed to be natural for a man to just accept whatever a woman does and says and supposed to want them anyway. You're supposed to desire them even though they're undesirable. And when I say undesirable, again, we're not talking about, physical desire. We're talking about beyond the physical.
y'all, I need somebody to help me out right now. So, what's going on with the men? What's going on? Like, men come up to me all the time. Oh, you're beautiful. I love your hair.
And I want to stop. She says, "Y'all, I want to know what's going on with men. Who do you think she's talking to when she's asking this question? She's not really talking to men. She's asking women what's going on with the men. She's asking a bunch of people who have no idea. None of them. They don't have a collective idea, but they're talking to each other. They're in this echo chamber with one another. They don't really want to hear the male perspective unless that male is a weak beta male who really hates being a man himself, and he just really want to pander to a woman and manipulate a woman and take advantage of a woman's sensibilities, right? Their egos and their desire to be, told the things they want to hear. So they're not really looking for a manly perspective. So she's really reaching out to the girlies, right, for confirmation or for a boost. She want the girl to say, "Girl, you bad. Oh, you a hottie, mama. You a baddie." And oh, these men say it's just the men, and these men are a problem, and these men are gay and they sassy, and it ain't you, it's them. These men ain't no good. They ain't ish. They ain't hitting on nothing. See, that's what she's really looking for. She's looking for that. She's not really asking this question in good faith. She's not. She's not at all. All right. And so she's not going to get the answers to the question that would actually help her get better results in life because she don't really want better results. You see, this is what they do. They act as if, they want to get good results. They want a good man and they want this and they want that, but they don't really want what they claim that they want, what they protest, what they profess, what they confess. All right. It's all performative. It's for social media. They're doing this for each other. This is them all trying to, qualify for the sisterhood. It's them wanting their egos boosted, right? So they want the other women to come and chime in and say, everything I finished saying. You know it all. We all know the stuff that they want to hear that tickles their fancies, right? So she's not really asking this question to men. Not at all. This question is not to men. Although it may seem as though she's posing this question to men, she's not. This is for the girlies.
You smell good, this, that, whatever the case may be. And that's it. Where is the, hey, I would love to take you out. Hi, could I have your number after the compliment? Like,
Hey, dog, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes a nigga just a shoot out a compliment just because he felt like giving you one. It don't mean nothing by it. He just, look, you look good today. He want to see you feel a little better about yourself. Not every time a nigga shoot his shot, he actually shooting his shot.
what's really going on? Like,
Yes, that's absolutely true. Sometimes a brother just want to give you a compliment. I've seen women and it looked like they've been having a bad day, or what I'm saying. As a man, we study women. This is what we do. We study women, so I can tell when a woman is having a self-esteem crisis, when she's having a confidence issue, when she look like she might be close to the edge. Right? Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. Yeah, yeah, exactly. See, I can tell this, right? And so sometimes I'll shoot out a compliment, just to brighten a woman's day, just to lift her spirits, and right, and that's all I meant by it. That's all I was trying to do, and my intention is to keep it moving. I don't want you. I'm not interested like that. I just saw something, and so I tried to provide a little something, pour into your cup a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Not every man, again, like he said, not every man that make gives you a compliment. He's not necessarily interested in you like that. You see what I'm saying? And so a lot of women, they'll get offended by a man's compliment and then they'll get an attitude. You see, that's the other side of this that she's not seeing, right? She's not, because she probably knows, right? But I'm going to tell you, women, men are having to listen to, decades and decades of women saying, leave us alone, right? We scared of you. We don't feel safe. We don't owe you no smile. No, I don't want to smile. Stop trying to make me smile. Maybe I'm having a bad day. Maybe I don't want to smile. Maybe I don't want to laugh. I don't want to talk to you. I don't know you like that. Right? I'm not interested. Leave me alone. And if a woman doesn't think you're attractive, if she's not attracted to you, your compliment or you being nice, will turn into, oh, he's creepy and he's this and he's that. You might end up with social media fame and not understand why. Because she wanted attention. She made a whole video on you, little expose about how this creep, out at Target, what I'm saying, tried to holler at her and made her feel uncomfortable and everything else. And so this is what men are having to contend with. And so for men's safety, because men are masters at adapting, it's what men do, adapt. And so men are saying, you know what? I don't want no problems. I don't, it's not even worth it. It's not worth it to try to talk to these women. They're nasty. They're rude. Look at their attitudes. Disgusting. I don't want to be, the next viral video with everybody calling me a creep, right? I don't want, what I'm saying, to be fodder for her girl time, story time conversations, what I'm saying, in order to boost her own ego. And because they all are man haters, black man haters in particular, what I'm saying, I'm the topic of their conversations and they're all bashing on me and I didn't do nothing but either just pay a woman a compliment, or I just looked at her for a second because she was attractive, or I tried to shoot my shot because that's what men do. So then when men stop doing those things because, they groomed men, they program men to not do those things, now it's what's wrong with the men? What happened to the men? All right, it would be like us in His truth saying, what happened to the Most High? Why did He turn His back on us? Why He ain't looking out for us? Why He ain't blessing us? Why He hate us so much? Right? He just hate black people. What did we do to Him? How did we get in this situation? Where we are is a result of what we've done. See, and we can think of this and we can recognize this as a people, but women can't recognize this inside of the man-woman dynamic, right?
I'm waiting for my king, and it's like, okay, the king is commenting, but he ain't following up with the actions. Like, what's going on?
Let me ask y'all women something real.
See, so she's talking about men who are like observing her on social media, watching her, interested. They're attracted to her, but they're not really following up. And ladies, when this is happening, it's because These men have saw things, they've seen things that say, okay, I'm physically attracted to her. And so I like to look at her, right? She's hot, she's sexy, right? She's cute. So I like to look at her, but I don't want to know her like that though. I don't really like who she comes off to be. I don't really like her lifestyle. I don't like her habits. I don't like her mindset. I don't like her spirit. I hate that energy she gives off. I'm cool, but she's good to look at though. And see, women, they don't, again, a lot of times they don't look inwardly and say, what is it about me that's getting me the results? Why are they reacting to me this way? Right? What is it about me? What am I doing? Let me look at myself. Let me look at my social media. Let me look at all my posts and my stats. Let me see how I'm coming off. I can't understand why these guys don't like me. I know 99% of my messages are these ninjas ain't ish and I hate ninjas and this, that, and other. But why aren't the men flocking to me? Why aren't they coming to talk to me? What's wrong with them? You see what I'm saying? This is what they're doing. And so this is causing a reaction, an adaptation in men, and this adaptation is coming from above.
Real quick, like when are y'all really going to meet good quality, decent human men? Like I keep hearing go to happy hour, go out by yourself, like don't be with a group of women because men intimidated and they won't approach you.
Listen to what she's saying. Who do you think is giving her this advice? There is no man saying to her, don't go out with a group of women because men are intimidated by a group of women. Ain't no man talking like that. That's the kind of advice that other women give other women. Men are not intimidated by women, right? We can be turned off by women. I can be turned off by your aura, by your energy, by your mouth, by the way you think. Being turned off, being disgusted by who you are is not the same as being intimidated. Not liking who you are isn't the same as being intimidated, right? But again, this never occurs to them. And they're getting all their advice about men from women. So they constantly fail with men, and it never occurs to them that maybe I need to start taking advice about men from women. Maybe I need to start listening to men. Maybe I need to ask the men directly about things concerning men and not other women. Maybe that'll get me better results, but that's not what they do because they don't really want better results. This is not getting better. This is not about resolution. This is not about, getting a good outcome. That's not what this is about. This is just about coming onto the internet and making it seem as if something is wrong with men. That there are problems with men. Men are lacking. Men are degenerate. Men are negative. Men aren't worthy. Men aren't this. Men aren't that. And that's the reason for my circumstances. It's not me. Nothing is wrong with me. It's the men. And so I need to go to social media and make a post about how men aren't stepping up and men aren't being men, in order to justify my loneliness, my singleness, and, me constantly striking out or failing with men. That's what's going on here.
But seriously speaking, like, have y'all been out recently and a guy has come up to you and introduced himself to you and just been kind? I feel like men are just not men anymore. Like,
And men are just not men anymore. But see what I'm saying? Everything that men are right now is an adjustment to what women are. Men have adapted to what women are. All right. Again, as hunters, as pursuers, men learn, okay, I want to catch this certain kind of fish. All right. Well, then I got to know what this certain kind of fish like. What kind of bait do I need to use for this kind of fish, right? Because if I just put any old bait on the line that I want to, and then the fish that I want to catch don't bite, then I can't be mad at the fish saying, what's wrong with the fish? What's wrong with the red snapper? Right? I'm putting toenails on the line and the red snappers ain't biting. You don't want no damn toenails. But they don't ever say, maybe it's my bait. Maybe what I'm fishing for don't like the bait I'm putting out there. Maybe that's why they're not biting. Maybe that's why they're staying away from my line. They're not biting on my line. They don't like what's on my line. You see, because women aren't natural hunters or pursuers or fishermen or anything of that nature. So these kind of thoughts don't occur to them. You see? And this is the problem because we've created a world now where women have to shoot their shot. Now, women have to be pursuers. Women have to be chasers now because women program men to stop. They made men stop. They told men, you know what I mean? Stop pursuing us. Stop it. All right. They made men uncomfortable. They made men, they became hard to deal with, right? Impossible to be around. You can't talk to them. An attitude about everything, right? And so men is saying, all right, put their hands up. Let me take a few steps backwards. I'm cool. Now it's what's wrong with the men? Why won't they approach us? Right? Why are they doing what we asked them to do? Why are they leaving us alone? Just because I asked you to leave me alone, just because I demanded you leave me alone, doesn't mean you should leave me alone. Be a real man. All right, approach me anyway, but don't approach me because then you're a creep and I didn't consent and you're not listening and respecting me when I tell you what I want and what I don't want, what I like and what I don't like. And why are you still bothered? You see what I'm saying? They put men in a position where men just can't win. So men are saying, you know what? I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm good. Right? Let's check out a quick little excerpt from this video real quick.
This message is for my husband.
Oh, shit.
Honey, please come on. I'm outside and I'm getting tired of being out here. It's weird out here. You need to come on and find me so that we both can go inside.
First of all, she don't have no male following. She's talking to other women, first and foremost, right? First and foremost, she's talking to other women. She got dressed up, right, to put her camera on so that she can talk to a bunch of other women so women can boost her ego. All right. Any dude who sees the video and tries to holler at her, she's talking about she's waiting for her husband to come find her. Every dude that comes and try to shoot his shot, she gonna shoot him down and then make a story time about it. Look at these ninjas in my DMs, right? This is the climate that they've created.
This man with skinny legs and parrot-toe feet just trying to talk to me, and he was bald-headed. Nothing against bald-headed men. Love y'all. Honey, please come.
If you love her,
right? But if I say something about her, she gonna say, you don't like black women, you don't like dark-skinned women. I'm saying I don't like overweight women, I don't like fat women, I don't like obese women, right? I don't like weaves, I don't like wigs, I don't like too much makeup. You got the tranny look. Oh, you hate black women. Right? They are allowed to have their standards and tell you what they don't want and what they don't like. But if you do, then it's because you hate women, because you gay, you're sassy. You're not allowed to have standards because you're a man. And this irritates men. The double standards that women have turn men off and turn men away. And women, again, they don't realize who they are and that they have made themselves undesirable. They just made themselves not worth the chase. That's why men aren't chasing, because today's women are not worth the chase. You heard the term, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. That's what's going on with the modern woman. They're not worth the squeeze.
why you talking shit? But I digress. Another word. Yo, hey, look, I bought a dictionary off Amazon, bit. I just been going through that bit, you heard me?
It's weird. It's getting really weird out here. And you leaving me.
Who made it weird out here? Women did. But she's talking to this fictional man she's supposedly trying to manifest and call into her life, though, right now. That's what's happening.
Out here unprotected.
You leaving me out here unprotected.
Oh, my God.
Please. We have to talk about this later, too, because you've been taking your precious time. We have to discuss that. I don't like that. Please, come on. Come on.
Where y'all be meeting the man at, bro? I live in Louisville, Kentucky. All right? If it was something here for me, I would have seen it by now. It ain't nothing in Kentucky, bro. Not trying to meet you at the club. I don't know how much is going to come from it, okay? So what? Where do I go? There's nowhere to go in Kentucky. I go to a restaurant and hope that you're in there. I could go to church, but the churchgoers ain't much better, to be honest.
The churchgoers ain't much better, to be honest. It's because that's Satan's church. Sweetheart, that's Satan's church. All right, you go find men of Satan in there, not men of Yahawah. That ain't where you go find good men. Talking about where do attractive, wholesome men be? Wholesome men. All right, look at her. Titties out on the camera. She want a wholesome man, but look at her. Titties out on the camera. This ain't wholesomeness. This ain't womanly. This ain't classy. Right? This ain't modest. She's attracting what's on her level, but she wants something better than her and what's higher than her level, but she don't realize it because she think she got a vagina and she got titties and she cute, and that's enough. But that ain't enough for men anymore. Being attractive ain't enough for men anymore, because men now have a spirit on them that's not making them run after everything that's cute. Now men are listening to you. They're watching you. They're sensing your energy. And they're making a determination based off of all of those other things, whether or not you're worth it. That's why you're going to see a whole lot of other women out here who are not as attractive, but yet they're getting these same men that you want, and you can't understand what's wrong with these men. I mean, what's going on? While how these women are getting these men? So you're going to say, well, something's wrong with them. That's the best they can do, or they not this, or they that. And look at her. You talking about, because you're judging that woman by her outside, right? But the man is judging the woman by who she is inside. So you can understand the same way the Most High doesn't look on the outward, but on the inward. He's putting the spirit on men to now judge a woman based off of who she is on the inside and not on the outside. So now men are now caring about who a woman is now and not just what a woman looks like. This is the shift that's happening that women are missing. All right. There is a godly shift that's happening where now the substance of a person is more important than their outer beauty, what they present to the world. All right. And so, again, this whole men want to be chased, men want to be a prize. Men are now valuing themselves. Women aren't used to this. They're not used to men prioritizing themselves, loving themselves, or valuing themselves. They're used to men being so thirsty for box, for sex, that men are willing to put up with and deal with anything, right? And men aren't going for it. Men are different. And so instead of adjusting to the fact that men are now different, the climate, the dating game, the dating pool, it's different now. No, they want men to revert back to what men used to be. You see, and that's not going to be the case, not in masses anymore, because the Most High is working His work. He is doing His thing in the earth. He has put this spirit in the earth. He's bringing masculinity back. He's bringing manhood back, and not masculinity and manhood according to women. Women don't get any say so. They have no input on this conversation of masculinity and manhood. Real men aren't listening to women talk about what a real man is. A woman can't tell me what a real man is or what a real man does. I don't even listen. As soon as she start, I'm gonna cut you off. You're done. That conversation's over if we're talking. If it's a video, I'm done. As soon as I see it's a modern woman and a modern woman mindset, I'm done. I'm out. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, you know what I mean? I have quote unquote black woman fatigue. Not because I hate Israelite women, but because online, not in real life, online, on social media, when I see quote unquote black women, Israelite women, you know what I'm saying, sitting up and they doing a video about something, 9 out of 10 times, I'm just gonna skip right past it because I don't want to be, infected or affected by her negative energy, by her masculine energy, by whatever stupidness she's about to say. Because 9.5 times out of 10, it's about to be something dumb that's gonna piss me off, that's gonna make me hate her and all women that look like her. And so I had to learn, I had to adapt. Because at first it was all fun and games, it was all entertainment, right? COVID happened, this boom happened, and then it was entertainment, right? Just watching what's going on out here. But again, now the fatigue is set in. I'm so disgusted and exhausted now. I'm exhausted with it. And so now, on the rare occasion, based off of what the subject line in the video is, maybe I might try to take a peek to see what the sister is going to say. But as soon as I see, hear, or sense the effery, I'm out. I'm out. This is a real thing. And why are people getting, men getting women fatigue, and why are brothers, Israelite men, getting black women, Israelite women fatigue? Because this is the Most High. He's tired of his daughters. You hear what I'm saying, ladies? He's getting tired of his daughters. It's humbling season. It's time for him to move into doing what he said he was going to do. All right, Isaiah 13 and 12. He says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. All right, not that he's going to make a woman, so he's bringing about a change. He's bringing women down and he's bringing his men up. All right, he's bringing all men up above women. That change has to happen because remember, he said he's going to do a new thing where a woman will compass a man. Well, that was only supposed to be for a time. That time has expired. So now the switch, the seesaw is happening. Women are being brought down, men are being brought back up. Israelite men are being brought back up. Israelite women are coming back down. All right. It's their humbling season. We've gone through a great period of humbling and having to be, and live in humility. It's the women's turn now. This is what's happening in the earth. This is the godly perspective on what we see happening in the earth right now, what we see happening with relationships, this whole gender war between men and women. At first, it was a one-sided war where the women, was doing all of the fighting. Men were just accepting it. It's a lot like a physical fight between a man and a woman. Normally, a woman is more likely to be hitting on a man than a man is to be hitting on a woman. Men do hit women, but what's more prevalent? What's more prevalent, ladies, even though y'all won't admit this, is that women put their hands on men a lot more than men put their hands on women. It's just that men don't complain about it as much. Men don't talk about it. Men don't file police reports. And socially, men have been programmed to accept it. Oh, it's no big deal. To see it as no big deal. You'll even see men, right? I saw a video about Sha'Carri Richardson. I think that's her name. The track star, putting her hands on her man in the airport, and then in the comment section, what's the first thing I see? A slew of beta males. What's wrong with him? What's wrong with men? Who raised y'all? Who raised y'all? Getting your woman locked up for putting her hands on you. What's wrong with you? You just supposed to take that. You see what I'm saying? That's programming. When you can, those are men who have been successfully programmed to be beta males and docile. You see? And so the Most High has to undo that programming. He has to undo the wickedness of this world, right? So the Most High said that this day would come when righteous men would become rare and valuable. And not only would they become rare and valuable, they would know that they are rare and valuable, and they would begin to act as if they are rare and valuable. And that's what's happening. Now, when women see that men are seeing themselves as rare and valuable. And these men, because of it, they're staying away from certain types of women. So these women who are out here saying, well, I can't find a good man, we're all a good man, that this is the Most High's blessing to these men. He's keeping these women away from good men, away from the righteous men. He's not rewarding these women with the kind of men that they want. Why? So he can ruin them? Right? It's the same way you don't reward, you know what I'm saying, a thief. You don't reward a criminal. Right? In the Most High's eyes, these women are like criminals. He's not about to reward you with something great. You don't deserve it. So he's going to give you what you deserve, but because they got a vagina, they think they deserve better. They think having a vagina and titties means they naturally they're born deserving the world. And that's not how the Most High feels. All right? So again, men are being made rare and valuable, more precious than gold, right? And so women wouldn't be able to find them, let alone qualify for these men, right? And that's what we're witnessing now. The Most High's word being true. We're watching prophecy. We're watching the words of the Bible spring into action. This is really what I want you to see. I want you to learn how to see the Most High's will being done. I want you to learn how to look at the world, see what's happening, and say, this is the Father's business. This is his will being done. This is his movie. So what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, this is his business. This is the Most High's doing. I want you to be taught to program your mind to seeing everything through a godly lens, through the lens of Yahawah Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, so that you can stop strengthening the hands of these evildoers, these wicked women. Stop sympathizing with them. Stop empathizing with them. All right. Stop, supporting them. Stop coddling them. All right. Stop lying to them. Stop keeping them in delusion, because that makes you an enemy of the Most High. You see, I'm trying to show you how to not separate yourself from your power, how to not become, an agent of chaos, how to not make yourself an enemy, combatant. All right. Because again, like I said, the women, they had a decades long one-sided war, but now men are hitting back. Now men don't see it as being less than a man to hit a woman back anymore. All right. You hit a man and he hits you back. Now men don't feel like, well, I'm less than a man, because that you ain't a real man if you hit a woman back. That programming is not working anymore. The no matter what a woman does, you never hit her back. I don't care if a woman busts you upside the head with a brick, you still don't put your hands on that woman. That programming, that's over. That's over. They're still trying to uphold it, right? And the beta males are trying to help them uphold it, but the Most High, He's removing that simp chip out of men, and real men ain't going for it no more. Real men are like, you better keep your hands to yourself, or I'm gonna give you an extra pair, right? Isaiah 4 and 1. In that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, not 7 men shall take hold of one woman. He's not going to make a woman more precious than fine gold. He's not going to make a good woman a rare find, right? He's going to make a good man a rare find, a righteous man a rare find, a righteous man the prize to be had. See, a righteous man is the prize according to the Most High. So don't let this world fool you, ladies, because they're going to try. If you want a righteous man, you want a godly man, you want a good one, you better learn to be at peace with the fact that that man is the prize, right? All right. Sarah called Father Abraham Lord, Master. He didn't call her that. He didn't call her Mother Queen Goddess and other such foolishness that women want to be called, right? For their egos, right? That's not what happened. All right. So godliness according to the Most High, righteousness according to Him, manliness according to Him, masculinity according to Him is much different than that of this world. And you need to learn His way and not the world's way. You need to be deprogrammed from the world's way. All right. So women will become chasers. That's what the scriptures are saying, that the women will become chasers. They'll beg to be called by a man's name. All right. We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. All right. And because the wicked men will be destroyed and the righteous men are going to prevail, the righteous men will be more precious than fine gold. The women are going to cleave and chase the righteous men. But the Most High does everything in gradualism. So first, He's converting it so that men in general, not wicked and righteous, are all uh, receiving this spirit to switch, to change, to start to get women as a whole to try to convert, to be humble, to switch mindsets, to switch gears. But then who's going to be left standing after the wicked men die off is going to be the righteous men, right? And so by that time, all of these women would have had time to get used to this switch, and hopefully that would make it easier for women as a whole to accept the new way of things. All right, which is the righteous men being in high demand. All right, let's go to Ecclesiasticus 26, verse 23. It says, "A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord." So all of these women, when they're out here talking about this man was that, he was a narcissist, he was an abuser, he did this, he did that, he did me wrong. Guess what that means? That means she got what she deserved. That means the Lord gave her the kind of man that she deserved. She didn't deserve a better man. She wasn't qualified for a better type of man, right? She got justice according to the Most High. She received the man the Most High wanted her to have. So again, she got what she deserved. So what am I trying to get at? I'm trying to teach my sisters on how to separate themselves from the wicked sisters out there, the wicked women. All right, how to stop siding with them and trying to tell them they deserve better. If they deserved better, they would have better. They're what they are getting out of life. That's what the Father has given to them to be their lot. Remember, He's the writer. For them as a character in His story, that's what He wrote in the story for them. Get out of His business, right? Stop trying to convince these women that all men are no good and that they deserve better. If they deserved better, they would have better. That's the bottom line, because all of these things come from the Father. If they all are dealing with wicked men, guess what? They're wicked women. That's you just don't realize that because to a lot of women, women can't be wicked. They don't understand and see the wickedness of other women. Oh, what the Most High does. Oh, and men do. That's what's happening in these spaces also. Men are talking about the wickedness of women. Female nature is being talked about. It's the hot topic. That's what's going on in the red pill community. All right. The revealing of female nature, men being awakened to female nature, to who they are, to what they are, to how they're moving, how they think, how they feel, all these things. All right. Men aren't making this up. Men are adapting. The red pill is an adaptation to feminism. It's the men adapting to feminism and to the we hate men, the misandry movement. All right. So women know what misogyny is, but they don't want to talk about misandry though. Right? Misandry preceded misogyny. All right. This whole we hate men movement happened first. Then men awakened and start talking about women. And so, but women see anything unflattering being spoken about them as hatred. Not just that it's the truth. No, no, no. You're bashing me because you spoke about the truth. All right. You know, yeah, I can say I can see a woman do something, and then I'll say, "Hey, you just did X, Y, Z. That wasn't cool. Why are you bashing? Why are you bashing black women? Bashing? You just threw shit on the ground outside, lady, and I told you that was disgusting because I pointed out the truth. You threw shit on the ground, and it was disgusting. But because I pointed it out and just didn't let it slide, now I hate black women. Oh, that I'm gay now. I'm sassy because a real man never would have pointed it out. A real man would have just looked the other way, right? This is the foolishness that's going on that the Most High is rooting up. All right. So the Most High, right, he's separating worthy men from wicked women. That's why you see what's going on out here. That's why most men are single and childless, contrary to the popular narrative, right? Single and childless. The Most High is saving these men from these wicked women. And these wicked women don't understand what's going on. Why are these men acting this way? Because it's the Most High's blessings. It's the Most High's grace. It's His mercy. It is His protection on these men. These women think that it's them being protected from wicked men. No, it's the Most High protecting wicked men from you. Give me any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman, King Solomon said. Meaning there is no wickedness that can be compared to the wickedness of a woman. And if you admit this, then they'll say you're bashing women, right? But if you say that there's no wickedness like the wickedness of a man, then all women will like, yep, 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 do their little snappy thing and act that, you know what I'm saying? Talking about, yep, tell them, uh-huh. They won't say that that's bashing men. They'll say that's just the truth. You see? Let's go to Zephaniah 3, verse 19. It reads, Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee. All right. I will undo all that afflict thee. All right. He told us in due time that he would undo all that afflict thee. What afflicts us? Us being ruled over by our women, right? The satanic spirit that our women have taken on, that all women have taken on, right? The spirit of the serpent that they have taken on. He said he's going to undo it. He's undoing it, right? Women being too high up, too exalted, lifted up, too prideful. He said he's going to undo it because it's an affliction unto his men. He says, and I will save her that halteth, right? Which is the southern kingdom, and gather her that was driven out. That's the northern kingdom. All right. Speaking about the two kingdoms as if they were women. And I will get them praise, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. Right. And first and foremost, this is starting with his men. So what is he doing? He's lifting his men up. He's dusting his men off. All right. He's bringing value and worth and dignity back to his men before the eyes of the women that hate us. At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you, for I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith the Lord. All right. Again, what he's talking about, he's going to do, he's talking about he's going to do this for his people. But guess what? The men are the leaders of the people. So before he does it for the women, he does it for the men. Remember, the Most High does everything in an orderly fashion and in a gradual fashion, not all at one time. So the men of Yahawah who were once ignored, right, mocked, belittled, and walked over by society, by our own women, are now being lifted up, are now being raised up, are now in the process of being exalted. All right. The world is about to see what a true man looks like, a man of Yahawah, and how valuable that man truly is. And who's going to be the first to see it? Our women. They're the first to have to deal with it. And see, it's vexing to them. The men becoming righteous, the men awakening, the men no longer putting up with their foolishness. It's a vexation, right? They're seeing the old way ending and they're stressed out about it. It's like the MAGA. They're seeing their old world end, the world that they loved so much, the world that they were used to. They see it all coming to an end. So that's why the MAGA movement started, right? Out of a fear of them missing the good old days and it ending, coming to an end. The women are seeing the end of their good old days. So they're bucking up with this, with the red pill community, the manosphere community, with this awakening of men is no different than MAGA being born out of seeing their beloved good old days ending. Same thing, right? Let's go back to Ecclesiasticus. Let's go to 4. We want to get verse 7. Get thyself the love of the congregation. This is the part. And bow thy head to a great man. All right. What is the point? A great man is to be honored and bowed to, right? Shown respect, reverenced, not treated as disposable. All right. Not treated like he's a commodity, like he's a glorified slave, like he's a do boy, a utility, right? So the great man, he's not chasing, he's building, he's standing, he's being transformed, he's preparing for the kingdom. And if a woman wants him, she better humble herself, humble, blah, 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 humble herself first and approach him, that righteous man, in reverence, not entitlement. But that's all you see is women's entitlement. They believe because they are women, they are entitled to a man's money. A real man is supposed to spend his money. A real man is supposed to buy this and buy that. A real man is supposed to provide. A real man is supposed to provide for his wife, not for just any old woman that he meets. That's not what a real man does. That's what a simp does. That's not a godly man. A godly man takes care of his woman, not any woman, not some woman he's dating, right? And women are foolish, right? Well, if you want to date me, you got to pay for my nails and my hair in order for me to go out on a date with you. Okay, so I'm gonna pay for your nails, your hair, your clothes, your outfit, your babysitter if you're a baby mama, right? To go out with you for one day, and then you're gonna go out every other day of the week, for the next month or so with that same hair, the same nail, the same makeup that I paid for to go out with other men, though, right? See, they don't even think men are supposed to think like this. They don't even think men are this damn smart to say, no way. I'm not paying for your hair, your nails, and everything else to go out with you one damn time, and then so that now I done beautified you for the next man now. You don't really like me. We don't really like each other. We ain't really a couple or nothing like that. We just meeting, going out for the first time, and I'm supposed to cash out on you. You don't even like me. I'm supposed to invest in you. Not no, 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 not invest. I'm supposed to throw my money away. I'm supposed to throw my money away. Right? Like this is some sort of grant program, right? When I'm just supposed to give you money for free, you ain't got with no expectations on you to pay back or to meet any kind of expectations, right? And see, men, this is what men are dealing with, and they're saying, "No, thank you. I'm cool," and they're bowing out of the dating market. Yes, they're still looking. Men are still attracted to women, so men are still in these spaces, and men are only arguing with these women because men want women to change and to be better. Because men ultimately want women and like women, but women don't like men, and women don't want to change. Women don't want to be better. They rather crash and burn than to give men what they want. Right? Then they want to call men that are trying, the men that like them, the men that want them to be better, want to call those men gay and sassy for trying to get them to change. And then they turn around and with the men who don't try to pour into them, who don't give no F's about them, then they want to ask, well, why these men, why y'all see you just hate black women? You don't really. So no matter what, they say you hate them. If you try to correct them, you don't like them, right? And if you treat them how they say they really wanted to be treated, which means don't hold them accountable, don't do none of the stuff that a man who really wants them or loves them would do, then they gonna whine about that too. You see, they created a situation that you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Which means what? What would you do in that situation, ladies? You would throw your hands up and say, you know what? I'm done. I'm cool. If I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't, then how about I just don't then? How about I don't? See, but they don't see the current state of men as an adaptation to them. They just see it as something wrong with men, right? Proverbs 18 and 22. And men are sick and tired of it. Men are tired of you, ladies. All right. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, not find a woman. I got to reiterate this. I did it in the last lesson, right? Whoso findeth a wife, meaning finds a woman who was raised to be a wife. She was taught to be a wife. How many modern women were raised to be wives, were taught to be wives, have experience with seeing their mother be a wife and seeing their mother be a good wife at that? Let's qualify it even more. Not many. The percentage is extremely low across all races, right? Across all demographics, but especially in the Israelite community. All right. So the scripture says a wife, not a woman, not a baddie, not an Instagram model, right? Not a bad bitch, right? A wife is a rare find because women that's not the programming they're getting today, right? So in these times, so is a husband of Yahawah, even more so, right? So women must become wives before they are found. That's the part women don't understand about this scripture, right? They like to quote it and do their little snappy thing when they're trying to feel exalted, when they're trying to feel like a woman is supposed to be some special prize just in general because of being a woman. They're missing it. It says a wife. So it has to be a woman who was raised to be a wife, right? She had her mother and her father's input on her life, and both were good inputs. Her mother was a good example of a woman. All right. Her mother, right, was a woman that deserved good treatment and love. All right. So you'll see women out here and they'll see a woman getting treated right. And they be like, yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. These other ninjas ain't ish. And my man ain't, he won't treat me like this. But they aren't treating their men the way that woman is treating her husband. They won't be like that woman. They don't want to be like that woman and do the things that woman is doing to get that great treatment. But they want that great treatment she's getting, though. They don't think that they should have to do anything for it. Just be. And that should be good enough. And if a man just won't cash out on you and just give you the world just because you're a woman, then there's something wrong with him. He ain't ish. He's trash. And this is what women are saying to men. This is what they're telling the world. This is what they get on social media every day, and they're saying about men. And then they can't understand why men are staying away from them, why the men they want are steering clear of them. So all they know of is the men that they don't like, because the men that they do like are staying away from them. So now their perspective is just through this same type of man, because they don't see any other type. They have no experience with any other type because the other type don't want them. So now all men are what these men are, what they're used to. Again, and they're used to that because that's their lot. That's what the Father says. This is your lane. This is your level. When they talk about I need a man on my level, they don't even understand what that means. The Most High is like, yep, bet. I'm gonna give you a man on your level, bet. And they get that man and they're like, he wasn't on my level. Yes, he was. You just thought that you were better. You forgot what your level was, or you were unaware what your level is. So you don't understand that you got a man that's on your level when you get one, because you think that you're better than what you are. So that's messing the game up. Women's delusion. They are unaware of themselves. They have no self-awareness. But men are watching them. And they can't understand, why are men not signing up for this? I think I'm a catch. All my girlfriends tell me I'm a catch. All my girlfriends are a catch. And men don't want us, and men are this, and men are that, and men keep fumbling us, and men keep dropping the ball. And here's another thing that I hear women say: see, what's wrong with these men? See, they like to show up in the beginning, and they put on their best face and be on their best behavior in the beginning, and then all of a sudden they switch up. See, and they think that that's some sort of deficiency in men. Let me tell you the truth here, ladies. What's happening? The man initially was attracted to you. He initially was interested. Then he got to know you. Then you got to talk. Ooh, then he got to see your mind. Ooh, then he got to feel your energy. Ooh, and say, no, thank you. I'm good. But it never occurs to them. They never look inwardly. They say, these men, these men, these men, they ain't ish. They just leaving me after the first date. Don't want to talk to me no more. Ain't ghosting me. And, I thought everything was all good. And he's just stopped talking to me. If a man just stopped talking to you, it's because there was something about you. And he said, no, thank you. He read you. He learned you. Because that's what men do. We study women, and we're quick studies. You see, because quick thinking and reactions, and these are survival tech skills that men have had to craft all throughout history, learning how to look at something and see something and to be able to adapt, right? I could be in a room and I'm looking around and I see a dude come in and I'm looking at his face and I see his energy is off and I'm like, okay. Now I'm watching him, or I'm leaving because I'm watching him. I can see the emotions, I can see his mannerisms, I can see his body posture, his body language, and I'm watching his facial expressions, and I'm looking at him, seeing how he's responding when he's just looking around at people. I'm reading his energy and gauging what I should expect from this individual. Men do this all the time. Trust me, ladies. Anytime you're out with your man, just watch him. He's going to be watching everything and everybody. He's going to be paying attention to things, and his mind is going to be doing calculations that you don't even consider. That's what men do. This is how we're wired. And so we even do this with women. It's a skill that we even use with women. How to know a woman that to leave, how to know when it's time to go, how to know a woman that's not worth your time, how to know a woman that's going to put you in jail, how to know a woman that's going to be an issue, how to know a woman that's going to be a headache, how to see a toxic woman that ain't worth it. And then have the masculinity and the manhood to walk away, and instead of being a beta male and staying there because you're not used to dealing with women and it's hard for you to get women, so you're just dealing with whatever, right? And so that's what's going on out here in the world. So I thought I would come and bring just a godly spin and a godly perspective to what's going on out here in the world, because many women are out here, they just clueless. They're not thinking. They don't think in the way that men do, which is, again, I'm not blasting them for that, because you shouldn't think the way a man does. But see, this is the point, though. This is the reason why men are critical in women's lives, because men provide something that women don't. Women provide something that men do not. And if you have no men in your life that you love or respect, or that love and respect you enough to tell you the truth, to be honest, then you're going to be handicapped out here. And many of our sisters are handicapped because they grew up without fathers, right? They watched their mothers be dominant and so forth. They learned to see through the lens of their mothers. And a lot of boys saw this too. So they became effeminate and weak, easily broken, easily programmed, easily destroyed. All right. That's what's going on out here. This is the Most High shaking up the world. He's sick of everything that's going on in it, and he's shaking it up, and he's turning this thing right side up. It's upside down right now, and he's turning it right side up. But in the process of him turning it right side up, it's going to be a whole lot of people falling and bumping their heads. It's going to be a whole lot of distress. And that's what we're watching for women. And they don't understand what's going on. So they're going to continue to remain in misery. They're far from godliness, right? So they're far from men like me. They're far from, instructions like this. They're far from a mind like this that can reveal these things to them and share with them, what's actually happening. Help them interpret the world around them. That's what's happening. All right. Women are walking around blind, and they need people out here who can see to help them, but yet they're pulling away. Everybody trying to tell them, hey, no, don't step off the curb. No, 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 there's a car coming. And they're hating the people that are trying to help them avoid disaster, aka the men. And the other sisters who are out here trying to help them, they start insulting you. Leave me alone, pick me. All right. Then they let you go and you get ran over by a car. Now you mad, you really mad at the world now. You done got ran over by life. You done got steamrolled, right? And now you really gonna start blaming everybody else. Well, why didn't y'all help me? You know I can't see. How y'all just gonna stand back and let this happen to me? You supposed to be a protector. But I tried to help you. You didn't want it. Or a real man would have found a way to make me listen. But yeah, that's what's going on. And so it's all messed up, and the Most High is fixing it. That's what's happening. Start looking at the world, everything in it, everything that you see through a godly lens. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Yeah, this one was a little different. And I'm kind of getting into more stuff like this because the Most High is putting on my spirit to do this, right? So there will be more of these kind of videos, man, because there are people out there who can benefit from having these types of lessons where it's not, I'm heavy on the commentary and the teaching and not as heavy on the scriptures. But the scriptures are in there, but it's just not scripture heavy like most of my lessons are. This is commentary heavy. All right. This is me using the just the natural wisdom, the worldly wisdom that the Most High has given me. All right. Solomon was given a great deal of wisdom. All right. Not just wisdom about the Most High, but wisdom about many things for the benefit of people. Now I'm using the great wisdom given to me about many things in order to help my people. And I pray that you were helped, that you can benefit from this, right? That you were given and shown a perspective that maybe you didn't consider, ladies, and that you were strengthened, fellas. And maybe this helps some brother to, snatch out that simp chip that's in you. Because trust me, you know, don't feel bad. We were all implanted with it at birth, brothers. At birth, the Israelite man gets the simp chip planted in him, and it gets reinforced through our mammies over and over and over again. Great thing for me, I was raised mostly by my father. You see what I'm saying? I have a male dominant perspective on life, right? My father is who I've always looked to. My father raised me. My father's voice is the one, I always heard. He was the leader and the guide and the instructor, right? My mother, she didn't dominate in my life like that. She couldn't dominate my father. My father was a masculine man like that. Couldn't be dominated, right? And he instilled in me manliness, right? And my mother, it was impossible for my mother to 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 destroy me the way a lot of mothers destroy their sons. All right. Tawada Abba Yahawah Bashem Yahushai for giving me a strong father in my life and for allowing me to be a strong father in the lives of my children. And for those of you who missed out on that, I'm sorry for you. Right. Anything that you miss out on, if I can help, I'm gonna give you, the gems that I have to give whenever, the spirit moves me to give it. All right. And so until next time, all right, I'll see you guys on the next one. Yahawah willing. We're all praise, honor, and glory to our Abba Yahawah Bashem Yahushai. Each one, reach one, family. Shalom.